we need headphones. Speakers working? Okay, that's totally up to you. So, in few minutes, I'm about to start. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. And in few minutes, we would like to start our session, which is the topic around the role of universities and private sector inclusion in sustainable development. It's organized by Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, one of the leading university for higher research in Italy. And before I start, I would like to thank the organizer of this pavilion giving us this slot at the very last minute. So really thanks a lot for your generosity and giving us the space to showcase the work we are doing and fostering partnership internationally. Since we have only 45 minutes for our session, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Manav Khanna. I'm a researcher at the Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna. Finished my PhD last year under the supervision of Professor Frey, who will be speaking here very shortly. And today we're going to talk about the role of universities. We have experts from different organizations, experts from different countries. They will be talking about how inclusion of universities and private sector and the role of different actors in uh, bringing a paradigm shift and achieving sustainable development goals. So, without taking further delay, I would like to invite Professor Frey, who is the first speaker for this event, with a question in mind that Professor Frey is one of the few people in this space that is expert in academia, who is also expert with a lot of collaboration with the private sector. And I would like to ask him, since he's the director of Center for Sustainable Development at the Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, how is the inclusion with the university and how is the inclusion of private sector is linked to the research activities and how we are moving forward, let's say, to COP30 and for the next 5 years. So the floor is to Professor Frey.
Thank you very much, Manav. I have a presentation. So, firstly, 2 years ago, we created in Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna an interdisciplinary center. So, the first point that I want to underline is to work on climate change and sustainability. It's necessary to work with different competencies, different disciplines. And so it's very important to have a lot of capacity to answer also to the request of the private sector. Sorry. Here, you, here are few examples of cooperation. One is at the national level, but it's only an example. We work with Toscana Aeroporti, also with ADR, the property of Rome Fiumicino Airport, to support the pathway to decarbonization. I'm the chair of the sustainability committee of the two airport, and we define together how carbon action, our sustainability plan are included into industrial plans, and we monitor the evolution in the time of the targets, including different working groups inside the companies. So our work is to support the strategic evolution. Uh, we call these partnership using action research. So to collect the data, to understand the situation, to define a starting point, and then to map the evolution in the time. The second example is a project with an association. We, we do the same also at the European level with other kind of association to find a way to measure the impact of different solutions, using, for example, life cycle assessment, in terms of alternative that this kind of association of industry can put in place in the challenging of decarbonization or the waste management and so on. The third level is with a multinational company creating tools to measure carbon footprint for internal use in strategic terms, but also for the communication to the public, to the customer, using, for example, tools like smartphones to know better the performances of the product, but also to measure more complex apparatus and technologies. All of these kind of activities have a strong connection with research, but also with so-called third mission university, impact. And it's very important also the capacity to communicate, to engage other actors, institutions, consumers in these transformational strategies. But we need to be coherent, and so we adopt also this kind of tools, this kind of approach, LCA, measurement tools, and so on, for our university to put in place some significant improvement in our performance, especially in this case to improve our carbon footprint. Something about future development. So we want to strengthen the visibility at international level of our work, working with different actors also present today. We want to develop innovative research proposal focusing on the interdisciplinarity. Third, we want to support a broader involvement of the civil society in our work, because impact is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Frey, for mentioning the role of methodologies, tools, and how Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna as an academic institution is fostering partnerships internationally from global to local and local to global. And now I would like to invite another expert in urban resilience, whose name is Nicola Tulin, who is chair of urban resilience at the UNESCO Center in Southern University of Denmark. And I would like to ask a question which is related to the work that he published recently about the impact of university and the research on the local territory and community, and how this scope is feeding through your work and how everything is moving forward in the positive direction. So the floor belongs to Professor Tulin.
Thank you very much, Manef, for the kind presentation. As UNESCO Chair on Urban Resilience, we are both committed to the mandate of our university, primarily focusing on research and education, those to create impact in society, but also to the overall mandate of UNESCO for science, education and culture, with particularly making reference to two focal points in UNESCO, both within the science sector, meaning the Intergovernmental Hydrological Program and the Disaster Risk Reduction Unit. There, the focus is really through research and evidence to support decision and policy making and national development. This is an example of work we've been conducting in collaboration with the regional and local authorities in Denmark. in the frame of a very ambitious program that has allowed Denmark to be the first country to have all its municipality with local climate plans already in place at the moment. These municipalities are acting not by national mandate but by their own resolve and in collaboration with also private sector, in this case the Foundation Real Dania, that's supported by Danish industries, and with these alliance municipalities. They've been requesting C40 to develop a resilience framework for the climate plans and also Confito, that's a local think tank, to support the process of the municipalities. Municipalities have been developing these climate plans both for mitigation and adaptation during the last, since 2020, and in collaboration with the University of Aalborg, Roskilde University, and under the oversight of the Region South, we have been called to make an independent evaluation of these plans in order to give better insight to the regional municipalities how to strengthen further their climate action. I stress the independent evaluation is based on clearly scientific methods, transparent and scientifically solid. Here there is some of the key results. I will browse it quite quickly. Here you can see a very ambitious plan for reduction of emission, and even if our trades on urban matters, clearly working in municipalities, we soon realize that most emissions are coming from agriculture, forestry and other land use, and are the most difficult to cut off in this case. Here there are a number of actions that has been devised by the municipalities, here indicate a number of municipalities, in order to have mitigation, and is spanning from extraction of low-lying soil to power to X and other type of nature-based solution. All these requiring quite a big input in terms of land and a change of land use. Parallel, a similar action devised for climate adaptation, and as you can see, most of this is different type of floods as main climate hazard they are responding to. This is happening also because we have more data at the local level on floods. And municipalities can act individually on floods because it's more manageable. We have less data at local level for coastal areas, not because it's less important, but again, we have less data, and municipalities need to act together. That's more difficult in order to countervent it. Here also an indication of action, and again, here the issue of understanding not only how much land we need, but where we need the land that shall be used to implement all these type of actions. Here some general recommendation, and among all these recommendations, I would like to highlight the fact that, again, municipalities need to work together. The municipalities need to work with a number of other stakeholders, also national level. And here university is playing another pivotal role. That's facilitate this type of interaction. Most importantly, when we are working in this type of realm with local authorities or with national authorities, to make research and to make solid analysis, develop taxonomy, etc., is not quite enough. We need to be able to have a knowledge transfer, to communicate our result in a way that's understandable and actionable by these authorities. And that's something that we are not very good or not always very good at university, and we need to learn. There is also a component, a fundamental component of creating capacity where we are good at, but we need to create it for policymakers and practitioners. And last but not least, this knowledge cannot be created only following scientific research consideration, but in collaboration and a co-creation perspective with a number of other stakeholders. I close it here, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Nicola, for mentioning the role of universities, that is, providing capacity building to local authorities and the national authorities, and how universities are so crucial in bridging this gap. And now we'd like to move forward to our next speaker. So we give you like the insights about Italy, we move to Denmark, and now we come back to Italy again. We have another professor who is running his wonderful lab. We had a presentation yesterday. I got to idea about the work he's doing, and I'm very happy to invite Francesco Fantozzi to provide the insights about his lab, about the role of university, which is another institutional capacity, and how his lab is solving the problem. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Manav. Hi, thanks for having me. I will not go much further on the role of university because I think both Nicola and Marco have said most of the important things on the issue. I would just want to show you what we did practically. And, how do I do that? Yes. We have some project on wastewaters, and mainly on the possibility of reusing wastewater. So I don't have much time to go on all the project. I will just focus on one, which is called Surfoli, and deals with the production of biocharcoal from residues to filter wastewaters. We focus actually on the olive oil industry, and I will talk about it very briefly. So, what you may know that oil extraction is getting you only 20% of the full amount of biomass. So you get 20% oil, and the rest is biosolids and wastewater. So the overall sustainability of the process is at stake, also because these residues are all produced in a couple of months. So you have quite a difficult approach to handle them. So since the biosolid here can be turned effectively into biocharcoal with our own technology, it's a rotary kiln that you see there, you use the own heating value of the bioproducts to provide the energy required to transform the solid into carbon. You can then use that carbon to filter the wastewaters. Why would you want to do that? Well, actually, there are some good points from the environmental and economic point of view. That's what we will show in this project and what we are showing actually right now. Wastewaters from olive oil production, but generally speaking from all oily seeds, contain natural antioxidants, which are polyphenols. So they are pollutants for the water, but if you can retain them, they are nutraceutics. They can be added to our diet, for example. So when we filter them out with biocarbon, by the way, biocarbon, it's charcoal, it's what you use for barbecue actually, but it has a porous nature, so it can retain big molecules inside. That's why it's used also when activated for air filters and water filters. So since we have a lot of waste heat from this process, we can use that waste heat also to dry and activate this carbon and increase the porosity. So then we can use that carbon to filter out polyphenols from the wastewater, which are then cleaned and returned back to the fields. What do we do with the char? Then we have char with polyphenols inside. We add them to the diet of ruminants. We produce an additive for ruminants. Why ruminants? Because as you well may know, ruminant and their enteric fermentation are have a big impact on global change because they emit methane. So the addition of charcoal to the diet of ruminants can reduce enteric fermentation. So the overall carbon footprint of the system is quite effective. So we just started this project. This is our part. Okay, this is actually the idea of the overall business model. In the following 3 years, we will demonstrate both the economic feasibility, the environmental feasibility, and the technical, of course. We are an engineering faculty, so we are dealing mainly on the process of turning biomass into carbon. And this is a sustainable business model that can produce carbon credit as well. So you can finance it in the voluntary market by selling carbon credits. And that will be one part of the job, to see what is the effective carbon credits that we can get from this project and how we can use it to sustain it. This is my last slide, actually. This is the partnership that we have. Our university is a coordinator. We are dealing with Southern Europe and North African countries because olive is the typical economy of the Mediterranean area. But as I said, it works perfectly well with oily seeds, for example, with palm oil, with sunflower oil, with rapeseed oil, with soy oil. Okay? So we have a university, two universities actually, the University of Rabat in Morocco and the American University of Beirut. Right now our thoughts goes to our friends in Lebanon, which are actually struggling with their lives, so I'm really sorry for them. And we have two companies here. We have a spin-off company, Tree from the University of Perugia, and a feed manufacturer, which is Arfan Mabruk. He will use our charcoal and produce an innovative feed that will be tested on sheep and goats in both in Lebanon and in Morocco, so that we can see what are the benefits for the animal and for the environment. As I close my remarks, I would like to show you, I brought some gadgets here for you. I can give it to you. Inside we have a bag with charcoal. So this is our main product. This, you can use it as an air purifier. You can put it in your car, in your gym bag, wherever. It cleans water, but it also cleans air. So that's what we are pushing here now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Professor Francesco, for the wonderful presentation and the product that you made in your university lab. And I really like the fact that you have so Italianness in the presentation with olives, with wine, and also barbecue. I miss being in Italy right now. And now we have another presentation from Italy, who is a young researcher, but his work is very active in this area, and would like to invite Vittore Negretto about his experience regarding the role of university and how they are fostering partnerships and how they are working in sustainable development. So the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Manav. I would like to thank you also, Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, for the kind invitation. Can you hear me well? And also the WGO Pavilion for hosting us. I'm Vittore Negretto I work as a research manager in the Università UAF di Venezia in Venice, Italy. And the University of Venice, yes, I think not everything is going well with my presentation, but the University of Venice is a university that treats architecture, planning, design. It's an university that has the design process at its core. So the relation with the private sector and with the outreach of, instead, as was said before, apart from the education and research, there's also a part. I will have to, yeah, there's something not working with the images, but it's okay. Yes. I wanted to show you 3 different projects of the way the university is involved also with the private sector, but I'll just tell them to you. The first one is a big ecosystem of research, so many universities gather together with also private sectors and public bodies to focus research on certain topics around the coastal communities, for example, around adaptation is one of the core aspects that is driven around within cities, within the production of goods, within agriculture. And in this different aspect, the innovation part is connected to the fact that the university is also providing finance to companies to actually do research on these topics within their premises, with a collaboration of industrial PhD and both researchers from our university and the research and innovation sectors of these companies. The second aspect of in which we are all, university is involved is the climate, and this is what something you can supposed to be seeing here, but is the supporting asset management. So looking at cities and assets and buildings and understanding how they can address climate risk. And this is a request that comes also from big companies that are transforming certain areas of cities, for example, in Milano, and they have to somehow not just evaluate a single building, but also have an urban-wide evaluation to understand how and where and what kind of adaptation action have to be brought in the project directly from the design part, which materials can better respond to the stress, the heat stress, or the requirements for managing water on site, for example. And this helps also with complying with the EU taxonomy and the do not significant harm principle in a way that we can have directly the, the latest results from research embedded within the project at the very beginning. And there's also um, there's also a long time collaboration with different municipalities and helping them transform parts of cities. And for example, the industrial area of Padua, which is a middle-sized city, has also has some specific risk and adaptation requirements. And together with the municipality and the private sector, the university has collaborated in a way to, first of all, build capacity and build a common knowledge in between all these different actors. And in a way that then they were also empowered to take action, to understand what kind of adaptation they need, and frame this within a master plan for the area in a way that any transformation from the public side can follow that direction, and also any private player that want to adapt, transform, reduce the energy cost, for example, of certain processes, can also embed and know which kind of adaptation is needed and could benefit him. I am sorry for this technology disruption, but I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Victoria, and I really apologize for this technical difficulty, but we understand what you were trying to say and the role that your university is providing and the technical capacity to also the financial inclusion to private sector. So since this side event is all about the role of universities and private sector, now we have one speaker who is running his company is Italy, and I would like to invite Daniele Barbone to talk about the role of private sector and how his company is involved, also with the collaboration with Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna and the work he is doing. So the floor is yours now.
Thanks to Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna and to the Austin Pavilion. My experience is based in a local experience because I am the CEO in one local utility. And my company, the name is Acqua Novara MCO, is a public company that manages the integrated water services in 138 municipalities belonging to the provinces of Novara and Verbano Cusio-Ossola. Our territory is historically known as a land of water because we have the Alps in the north with the Monte Rosa and the glacier. We have two important lakes like Lago Maggiore and Lago d'Orta, and also river with the Ticino River, Sesia River, and Toce River. In the south, we have an immense body of water because our agriculture is based on rice. For this reason, when we talk about the water, and we, as I said, we are considered as a land of water, the richness of the territory depends totally on the sustainable use of the water. Despite the historical abundance of water, we are aware of the tangible effect of the climate change. And for this reason, from Science the 20, we have launched a series of scientific and cultural projects with the aim of monitoring water resources and anticipating issues related to the climate change. One of the most significant collaborations is with the Politecnico di Milano, And we developed a monitoring program in order to analyze the evolution of water resources and extreme event, building a climate forecasting model that support strategic decision and targeted inventories. We have also activated synergies with other research institutes, for example, in important collaboration with Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna and Professor Pirni, that is here on the floor, and also with the University of Piemonte Orientale, to develop studies that integrate specific data and knowledge of the territory. In 22 and 23, we faced the impact of climate change. Our area was hit by an extreme period of drought, interrupted only by short but violent rainfall that have destroyed so many infrastructure in the territory. To give you an idea about the drought, the rainfall recorded was often below the monthly average, with an overall annual deficit of over 50% compared to the 30 years before. 47 of the 138 municipalities under our management were in crisis, and we were forced to manually refill with tanks and impose water consumption limit. The situation was critical also in 23, with extreme heat waves followed by intense and concentrated thunderstorm. The economical impact of this emergency has been significant. Significant in terms of extra cost, considering tanker, pipeline cleaning, drinking water that is needed to supply it, increase in overtime, increase in kilometer traveled, increase in energy consumption. These events have taught us that climate change is no longer a remote hypothesis, but something that concretely impacts in our daily activity. Water scarcity caused by irregularity in rainfall and changing temperature is a complicated challenge. The answer to the problem for us is a plan for the future that is named Agenda 36, that integrates investment and sustainability plan. The strategy includes investment of around €500 million in the next 12 years. Talking about the cooperation with the university, one important lesson that we have from the recent year is the awareness of the real effect of climate change which we must address both today and in the future. Water management requires a science-based approach, which allows us to analyze issues, assess impact, and develop sustainable strategy. Talking about the activity that we are developing with Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, the collaboration aims to develop an ethical and sustainable approach to the water resource management, focusing on research and training activities. In particular, the initiative raises awareness among internal staff and external stakeholders, considering the importance of responsible management of natural resources. Recognizing water as a limited and precious resource for the territory and encouraging practices that can not only improve current performance but ensure a positive long-term impact. The first evidence collected through the questionnaire conducted on our employees showing a good awareness on ethical issues, but also significant difficulties regarding the concept of intergenerational justice. Talking about external stakeholders, they demonstrate a strong interest in optimizing water resources, considering sustainability an essential element to current and future generations. But motivation for sustainability beyond the regulatory obligation include the desire to create a concrete change, although psychological obstacles remain, such as a poor perception of the urgency. In conclusion, considering what we experienced, it's good to consider that management of such as resources require an integrated and collaborative approach, capable of balancing everyone's needs. it's essential to establish a dialogue between the different stakeholders and to adopt sustainable management policies in order to provide for fair distribution. Using a planning based on a scientific data and considering climate scenarios make it possible to prevent such a conflict, anticipate situations of hardship and relative water scarcity, promote the adoption of innovative technologies and practices that can enhance this resource and make the integration water system resilient. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniele, for your presentation. So, since now we have been hearing the role of universities, the technical prospect, social policy prospect, managerial prospect, and also the private sector engagement. And now we would like to understand the role of university from the social and cultural point of view. So, with that point, I would like to invite Priya Gupta from India, and I would like to ask the question, how can universities support private sector players globally in reducing their environmental impact and advancing social progress?
Today the table is of my height. Yeah, hello, good afternoon and namaste. Thank you, Manav. Thank you, WGEO, and all of you to be here. And I'm happy to hear all of you, especially the technical aspect that you have been sharing. Since yesterday, I've been telling that I am more, working towards the public policy, social and economic aspect in the global south, India and the other parts of the global south. So, in simple words, I can just summarize what I'm going to speak in this 4 to 5 minute session of mine. Like sustainable development goals is a branch of a tree. Then the branches are the universities and collaboration between public-private institutions. Everything is related. I have been working with the premier institutions in India like IITs. I have worked with IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay and all those institutions very closely on different projects in collaboration with Government of India. And I'm a product of IIM, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. So I'll be, introducing you to the core concepts they are pursuing to promote sustainable development goals, to promote various projects based on either water management or, basically to promote the goals which are under SDGs. From the management point of view, IIMs are doing many collaborative activities like they are pursuing training and development courses in collaboration with private players or consulting firms. And on the other hand, universities such as IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and other IITs, they are doing calculating the carbon footprints. They are helping the universities. They are helping the other corporations in South Asia, not just in India, to come up with a dashboard or a technology which can be transferred from one country to another, which can calculate the carbon footprint, and on the other hand just help the other institutions, be it industries as well, to reduce the carbon footprint. So from the point of view of management and technology, a lot of things are going on. Everybody is aware. You have been sharing various programs and projects. But one thing I would like to share as experience, since I do not have a presentation ready today, is from Savipriya Foundation. We are running one 5 million worth project by using, again, blended finance facility, wherein we have onboarded more than 4,000 self-help groups from rural areas. So these self-help groups are coming together to mobilize funds to work on something or the products which are sustainable in nature. For example, women are making products out of wool. Those products are not, they are actually reducing the use of plastics in your home. For example, they are making products out of wool which can be used in your homes, in your offices, etc. So in one way, they are reducing the carbon footprint indirectly. On the other hand, it is improving the livelihood of women since it is leading to economic independence of women in India and in South Asia. So this particular project, Prakritik by Sarvapriya Foundation, um, is a very nice example of collaborative approach in India and in South Asia because we have collaborated with universities, not just IITs but tier 2 and tier 3 as well. They are coming together to provide us training and development opportunities. So those women who are not skilled, we are giving them the blue collar jobs skills so that they can again earn a better livelihood. And on the other hand, institutions are coming together to buy the, commodities or the products which are being made by the self-help groups. Not just that, banks and financial institutions are coming together to fund the whole project because we very well know that social or the projects based on social, impact do not really give a very good return on investment, right? So in order to bridge this gap, we use blended financing. We use various financial instruments like microloans, which are being supported by SIDBI in India and other organizations. So this is just one example I wanted to quote in this session today, in my experience. Although there are many, but time is less, and I do not have the presentation. So yeah, I mean, like I started, Sustainable Development Goals is a tree and it has many branches and it is all correlated. So public-private partnership, I think universities, the bridge between universities and the public-private partnership should be strong enough so that we can work towards a better future for all of us globally. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Priya, for your wonderful presentation. And since we are running out of time, and I would like to conclude this session, today we had the opportunity to understand the role of university from different perspectives, role of private sector, role of public-private partnership, and this session was organized by Escola Superiore Santana, where I also did my PhD, and we are here to foster partnership. We are here to provide uh, technical knowledge transfer, and we are here to work together, and together we all can solve this problem alone. We are, as mentioned by Priya, we are nothing. We cannot do things alone. So we need this support, and that is why this pavilion is quite important for having this side event because the origin of this organization is started with the Rio Convention, and most of the presentations here already been in the Rio Convention, so they know how in 1992 the Rio Convention started, how we are talking about sustainable development, how we are talking about climate change, and with this, we would like to say thank you to the organizers who gave us last minute slot. It's very difficult to find slot in this blue zone, and I'm really, really thankful for Adam and his brother and all the team. They provided their all the support that was possible, and I hope that this side event we have longer partnership with this organization too. So with this, I would like to say thank you for coming and thank you everyone for your attention here. And please be in touch with Professor Frey. Please be in touch with Francesco. Please be in touch with Nicola. They are here. They are working. And if you are interested about Scuola Superiore Santana projects, about the PhDs, about the research we are doing, so please get in touch with us and we'd be happy to provide more information. Thank you. Maybe we can take one picture before we go.